Hey everybody, Jeff here. Welcome back to some more Death Must Die. In today's video, I wanted to address some things from the beta branch and as well as show off probably the coolest updated unique that's been added to the game. So, first of all,
no justice on the battlefield.
As Crom said, there is no justice on the battlefield. Second of all, the balance and stuff is completely in fluctuation. So if you see a video and you see stuff you don't like, again, it is fine to comment on it saying you don't like it. It will be relayed, but remember, work in progress. To that end, we are playing today on Darkness 80 to show you guys what that looks like, because not everything should be balanced around Darkness 100 and what that looks like. And we're using the new and improved Scepter of Rasis, or as some other people will say, the Scepter of Racist. do with that what you will. It's mostly the same, except instead of just getting the aura of damaging aura and the heals, which has been reduced, and the damage, you also now convert all your cast and summon damage, crit chance, cooldown, count, area, and duration bonuses to powers bonuses instead. So your cast damage and projectiles, they're now power bonus damage and projectiles. To that end, we currently have 137 power damage, 1 power missile, 400% straight up damage because somehow we ended up here with the setup of gear, and 140% damage to undamaged. I'm also using this Queen of Worms, which has been updated at 60% chance to heal 1 on a kill, 10.8 master offers. Very good item, very good. We are also using a Pharaoh's Belt because this build uses a really funky talent setup. You might be saying, like, what in the world is this? No esoteric flow, no twin cast. Well, we're using telekinesis for cast damage for pull range, which is great. Bookworm for extra cast damage, burn through cast damage, arcane breeze cast damage, molten hot increase your cast damage by percentage of your attack damage, and then blast impact to get more attack damage, more summon damage, which is also power damage, and then more summon damage when you're not attacking, which is power damage. So the joke here, and of course more pull range for more damage and pull range.
What do you think of the...
And in all of that I just talked about, I didn't even go over maybe the coolest thing. Let's go ahead and take Ravens. I think Ravens is fine. Well, not the coolest thing, but the second coolest thing. Tomes. Tomes now counts as a power and scales with extra projectiles. So you can add a bunch of tomes if you want your like garlic style effect or your Holy Bible effect from Vampire Survivors. This is it. I guess we're using, I guess this is the garlic and Holy Bible build brought to life. So yeah, we're gonna run this on 80, see how far it gets, see if it's good. Things that we want Radiance, which we already got. That's why I started the video during the run, so that I had like one thing going, because we don't have a ton of dice to work with because of tomes. And I would like to pick up Fear, and then I would like to pick up some other power. One of those powers we could take is Flare, although I think we could do better than Flare. Oh, upgrade Radiance though. I didn't think about how many power slots we have, so I guess it doesn't really matter what I'm talking about. Okay, well, that being the case, let's just see if we can grab Fear as our other power and go from there. We're going to aura our way to victory here. And I think what we actually want to do is pick up stuff like cast damage and whatnot. We could take sudden death here. It's not actually bad. Or good reroll. We're not taking sickles because we're never attacking. A lifelink I'm kind of fine with. Let's just take lifelink. So because all of our summon and cast damage is going to scale to power, if we were to say, you know, well, I guess we'll do this. I guess we'll take summer for intensity. I was gonna say, if we were to end up on time, we could take summoner, and summoner would buff our power damage, which is a really unique interaction. And this build has a lot of that. We'll take execution. More XP is fantastic. Always. Really can't go wrong. Early execution, ever since the start of this game, has been one of the best things you could do. And I'll take Novice Mayhem. I think a lot of people fall into the trap of holding on for a higher tier Mayhem, when I found in my experience what happens a lot is, instead of actually getting that higher tier Mayhem, you're like 10 or 11 minutes into the run, you end up with like Adept Mayhem. You're like, well, I probably could have gotten like 15% damage out of it already by then, so why not? This is awful. We're just gonna alterate out of it. I wish I had Banish Dice right now. We're gonna reroll, try and get Fear. No. This feels kind of bad, straight up, but I'm gonna take it. We're 2 minutes in. There's gonna be enough elites that I don't think it's that terrible. But it's certainly not how I would have drawn it up. Give me Fear? Okay. Okay. What about, hear me out, Expert Fear? Maybe not. Okay, we'll take Black Serpents. Another debuff is fine. Influence, that's 15% power damage. Right? Yep, 196 power damage. You love to see it. We do want Fear, like that is what we want. There is some alternate ways you could go about this build, and this is one of the rare times that I would say actually having a power slot item might be worth it. I'm typically not a fan of it because, well, honestly, their stat weight or their point value, because the way items are generated, each item has like a certain amount of points, and like each affix uses them, and I think like extra ability slots have a too high point value cost, basically. Anyways, that's why normally I don't advocate for it. In this case, you know, I think this is the exception to the rule. I was gonna say, there is a build you could try with this, with Merris, where you go extra projectiles and go with Flare, because Flare scales with extra projectiles now, and you go with Rock Shield from Nin, because that scales with extra projectiles as well, I believe, unless something's bugged or is changed. I don't think I've tested it in the branch, but it should work. You could also go with lightning bolts. So there's a lot to do. So this is why we did this, because now we have Vehemence is another option we can take. So there's just a lot of damage scaling we can get over the course of this run. Now, obviously, what should end up being our main damage dealers are Radiance and Fear. Assuming we ever pick up Fear. But Radiance alone could actually do it. And the aura from the Scepter of Rasis plus the tomes could be pretty good. I really hope this video doesn't get flagged for me saying racist a bunch, but it's honestly, now that I've heard it, it's too funny not to say. Like, don't get me wrong, racism is not funny. It's not cool. If you're racist, I like first of all, stopping racist. Second of all, I really don't want you to be part of the community, to be honest. But like, the fact of someone not being able to say the word, like just like, oops, the Scepter of Racist, really gets me. It's that silly humor. I'm gonna take 13% chance to heal on kill. I think there's a decent chance that we're gonna be taking chunks of our life here. Oh, expert fear, let's go. Oradin Merris. Not something I had on my list of builds I expected to be playing in the beta branch, but here we are. Now we are out of power slots, so that matters, but we'll just keep taking damage and like we'll upgrade. Like I'll level that all the way up and then we'll just upgrade its rarity. I'm totally cool with that. I guess my main concern currently would be the bosses. I'm gonna alterate. We took the banish dice so we could banish deadly attack. We're not attacking because of the talent that makes it so we have 80% more summon damage while we're not attacking, so that's like why we're doing that. I think some of our damage is also not being reflected on our stat sheet as well, like some of our damage bonuses. That's kind of like a known issue. Radiance! Radiance me! Radiance me all day long. Power area would go kind of crazy too. Oh, you know what? We're gonna save that. We're gonna save that power shrine. Speaking of power, did anyone else see that announcement for the Capcom Fighting Collections 2? And that it's gonna have online 4-player Power Stone 2. That shit's crazy. I used to play so much Power Stone 2. Also, I've never played Capcom versus SNK 2, and I've heard that was like one of the games of all time, so I'm kind of excited about that. I'm a big fighting game enjoyer, I just haven't had time, really. Like, I own Street Fighter 6, I just haven't really played it. Wow, we melted his ass. That's pretty good. But like, yeah, I am in, and it has Street Fighter Alpha 3 on the same collection, and I love like Street Fighter Alpha 3 on the Dreamcast. I think that was the version I had when I was a kid. So I'm kind of stoked. I'll take Blue Vehemence. That's fine. Yeah, I am a fighting game Capcom enjoyer. I watch Maximilian Dude. I'm not sure how many of you guys that overlaps with, but I've been an enjoyer of his channel and content for a long time, and you know, just Capcom stuff in general. Mega Man X is one of my favorite games of all time. It's very hard to not jump into Street Fighter 6 right now with Terry being out as well, because he looks freaking awesome. It's just, it's hard because fighting games are so time consuming, you know? Because I want to be good at them. That's my struggle. Like, I want to be good. I don't have to be great. I think I'm at the point in my life where I'll accept the fact that I'm not going to be able to compete with people who are like 15 years younger than me, just purely out of reflexes and because I haven't put that time in over the past 10 years, you know? But man, do I want to drop a spirit bomb on somebody in Power Stone 2. If you've never done it, oh, it feels good. It's not technically a spirit bomb, but it is a spirit bomb. I feel like the character's name is Wu Long or something. I forget. It's Wu something. It's very, like, very stereotypical. He's the Goku character. Hey, a mysterious lamp. That's crazy. Give me that 6% master offer. Give me a reroll. Fear. The Mind Killer. This is hilarious. Just walking around. There's some other builds too coming, like, there's some other builds on the pipeline that are gonna blow you guys away. And I think I'm just gonna rock them in 80 because that way I can actually get through a run without too much commotion. Generally speaking though, I think most builds are now capable of pushing Darkness 100, even if it's not super consistent. Like most builds have the ability, if the run goes right and you're properly like geared and equipped and like have a plan. Whereas on the main patch, that is not possible. Like some builds can do it, most builds cannot. Like if you're melee, forget about, oh, we're just about to die right here. I found an issue with this build. Okay, so we don't do enough damage immediately. Looking at this, we had, what is that? 2k in fear? Not enough. Okay, we're gonna run back the same build, or the same gear setup, except this time we're going with lightning bolts. And we're gonna see how this works. I'm also gonna probably ditch summer here. Ooh, okay, I'll take Quake. And then we could get Rock Shield. If we get Master Rock Shield, that's kind of where I want to be. Now, I didn't add any extra projectiles, so that kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's okay. This is interesting. Because of how strong Warpact is, I think I'm gonna take it, and we only have 2 power slots. Yeah, let's see if this works. This is like a whole different strategy. But those golems were like a real problem. Lightning bolts me? Yes, please. I think there's some other builds that are going to be super cool too. There's a way to get an absurd amount of duration, so you could, in theory, make a crazy ball lightning build, and that's on the agenda too. We got a lot to try out. I mean, you could just keep giving me lightning bolts, honestly. If you're just giving me master lightning bolts to start with, that's fine. 5% damage. Unironically, that's more power damage. Kind of the benefit of this build is that every shrine you pick up is potentially good for you. I will reroll on the hopes of hitting more lightning bolts. Yes. This is a significantly better start than last run, by the way. Last run we were kind of settling, I'd say. Now we're really getting into, oh my gosh, okay. Now we're like really getting into it. Nin. Rock hands. Not really. Not really. Oh, these are not good. This is all bad. I'm just gonna take crushing attack just to have it, and then maybe we get like a fates. Find some banished dice and get rid of it. It's unfortunate. Sometimes it just be that way though. Like that's part of the game. The way it seems to be now is like the difficulty starts at before I continue my thought here, I think we're gonna take a landslide as a CC tool. The difficulty starts at cursed. That's your DPS check. Then you have some type of like survivability slash CC check at the golems, like a range check. Like if you have good range, it's fine. However, like we can handle them with the lightning bolts. We'll be taking War Pact all day, every day.
Which way?
Good dice. That's fine. Totally fine. And banished dice are super useful. Master offers. We could have taken master damage there since we have lightning bolts, but the idea of getting master rock shield is pretty good. One thing I would like to see changed, I think, oh, War Pact again, yeah. One thing I think I'd like to see changed is combust specifically. Just change to corpse explosion so that it doesn't require enemies to be on fire. Because it's already bad against bosses. Right? Corpse explosion, just not a boss ability in any game ever. Unless you can... Unless you have a way to generate corpses. Or pickups is fine. As such, further limiting it with... Ooh, take the heal. Further limiting it by requiring things to be burning is just, it's like so much. And then you have to kill a certain number before it triggers. I do understand that, first banish this. Second, take this. Now we're cooking. We can also throw these rocks. Like that is a play that can be made. But I'm just imagining a world where combust is literally just burning enemies explode, dealing like a small portion of their life or maybe a set amount of damage, as opposed to, oh, you have to kill 15 enemies for it to trigger once, and then the damage is comparable to a frost nova, which triggers 33% on dash that you can raise up to be like near 100%. It seems silly, right? Like, why is that a thing? Orbital Merris. How much defense do we have? None. Okay, that's why we died so fast last time. We have 200 HP, 22 DR, and no evasion. Not particularly built to tank stuff. And we are in a build where we have to run next to enemies, so understandable issues. This time we have lightning bolts, so we don't actually have to be near anybody. As always, we will avoid the sarcophagi. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Also, apparently I was just crazy in yesterday's video about a harp. Apparently it's still not fixed. All right, lightning bolts. I had people in the comments telling me. I had people in the official Discord telling me. It was like, hey, I watched your video. It's still broken. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm losing it. Rock shield. Give me the rock shield. We got quake. We got landslide. Rock shield. We can get power area, which I think that affects our, I mean, it does affect tomes and rock shield, I believe, to a very minor extent. I guess it would really affect the aura the best. This is all butts. I'm gonna take Great Wall. It's pretty good against the golems, and they were obviously our wall last time. You could say they were our Great Wall. I'm just gonna let that one linger in the air for a little bit. Let you guys suffer through that. I'm not sorry, but I know it was bad. It is an effective strategy though, being able to just like block an area. It's kind of like when you're playing Mario Kart and somebody's like hits you with a blue shell and you just drop a giant wall in the way. I would like to summon the minions to help fight me. To help fight with me, not help fight me. You know what I mean. Bring it on, Cursed. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for this heat. He's no Dominic Mysterio. That's not it. Also, not really it. Reroll me? Rock Shield? You love it? See, how much damage does it do if I throw it? 400%? That's 33 to 4,700. That's pretty good. Now, you might notice the damage on the like card or on the spell is not the same as the damage it's doing to the enemies. The reason for that is because as you raise the darkness level, we'll be taking that one, is because as you raise the darkness level, enemies get damage resistance. It says that as you do it, but it's not very in your face about it, so it's very easy to miss. Kind of a feel bad moment, I think, in the game currently. I hope that's something like long term they figure out. Big numbers are fun, generally, I'd say. But more so than big numbers being fun, I think that for me personally, okay, we'll take God of War, sure. Who needs defense? More so than big numbers being fun, I think seeing how much damage your abilities do on your screen, on like your stat sheet, and then hitting an enemy with said ability, and then seeing it do half or less than half of that, feels kind of poopy, right? I think it feels kind of bad. So, okay, well, this is not that. That was nothing. So I'm curious, like, to you math guys out there, if you were to just remove the damage resistance and up the enemy HP appropriately, could you achieve the same results, or is that like far more difficult? Is it a situation of like
there was this
exponential scaling becomes a huge balancing issue? I don't even want Hurricane. I'm not attacking. There's no point in it. You said a 31,000 on that lightning bolt. That feels good. What's our actual damage at right now? Well, our global's 1,500. Our power only says 165, but that doesn't feel right. I do think the visuals are certainly off for the staff, representing like how much we actually have. A lot of shrines around here. It's nice that we have golem buddies. I think, oh no. Well, we take attack damage because that turns into that turns into cast damage, which turns into power damage. Also, having near infinite pull range is pretty nice. Lightning bolts 9. Oh, these guys are a little bit easier now. Maybe, okay, hear me out, and this might sound a little crazy. Maybe my first idea of an all melee, no defensive character was not good. I know it's wild that I had a bad idea, but maybe that just wasn't it. Maybe I just had to play better. Well, this feels awful because like I'm not taking any of these. I'm not attacking, and they're all triggered on attack. Even Blood Swords is now triggered on attack. I get me more Rock Shield every time. Every time. I'll go over it again. The Blood Swords in this version is now triggered off of your attack skills, and it has a chance to summon Blood Swords, much like they would previously. And they'll do like the same stuff. The idea is for Crom to support like a summon attack build. Especially, and like that makes sense because I just don't want rock hands. Like, doesn't do anything. Haste is great. Master Haste is really good. Ow, that hurt. I guess we did take God of War, so damage is gonna be a lot. Second bolt, I'll take the second bolt. We're not guaranteed legendary, so I will take a second bolt over the other. Double casting landslide or quake is not irrelevant. It's lightning bolts. Nice, nice. I lost my train of thought. It happens. It happens. I guess we'll take landslide now. I have no idea what I was talking about. That's crazy. I'm not that old, but oh well. 13% chance to heal 1 on kill. 3% to heal 1 on life on attack hit. I think this number should be higher. How fast would you have to attack for that to be better? With how many enemies there are, especially now that Act 2 has so many more skeletons, which is a huge buff, by the way. Like, people aren't probably going to talk about it very much. The skeletons being added to Act 2 is a massive quality of life increase. It makes all of your heal on kill and attack stuff better. It makes your like XP generation type stuff better. Even if XP did kind of get normalized, somebody did ask that question, is like, no, you didn't actually. It's not just added XP from more mobs. They did mess with the numbers a little bit so that you're not skyrocketing levels for all these extra enemies, which is fine. There is a place and a time to go for like a full EXP build. There's just certain talents and characters and abilities that you're going to want to focus on if you want to try something like that. Specifically like alteration ritual stuff. Also, that guy hit for so much damage. I need some armor shrines. I don't know where they are, but I would like them to be in my life right now. What are we doing with luck? Lightning bolts doesn't affect it. Lightning bolts caps at 20k damage. That's funny. It does affect second bolt, which is good. Which only really affects landslide and quake, which isn't very good. Actually pickup drops. It's kind of a defensive ability. The glyph shrines are actually really good for us too, because well, normally you focus on one damage type and you're more likely to find one that, you know, isn't affecting the one you're using. In this case, there's 3 that actually buff us. Well, there's 4 technically that buff us and 1 that buffs us at a like 25% rate. So they're all kind of, most of them are useful. 4 out of the 5 of them, or 4 out of the 6 of them are useful. Just gotta watch out for the laser beams. Smoked. Smoked like yesterday's cigar. There's a dictator somewhere wondering where all his stuff went. I don't know why, like, dictators and cigars go so well together as, like, a theme. Maybe it's just because, like, that's what we've been presented all my life, all our lives. I think most of you watching me are in my same age range, give or take 10 years. Maybe in some extreme cases, a little bit longer than that. You know who you are. But as long as I can remember, I will... Let's go lose a little dash recharge, gain a little damage. Armor and life, please. I don't think damage is our problem. But as long as I can remember, dictators have always had that, like, ah, he's got that cigar. And generally, like, some type of cartoonishly evil mustache image to go with it. Like, not necessarily, but I just, that's like the image you get. Maybe it's just because of school where I was growing up. To be fair, I went to school in Florida, so like my education has been, from school at least, probably not the best. I have to learn a lot outside of school. It's kind of important. Not that the teachers weren't great. I love my teachers, but you know. The South be Southening. The South is South gonna South? I don't know. Oh no! Oh, I just got hit by all the bombs. I would like haste, please, right now. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I think I do really well against these guys, but I was not ready for that first volley, if I'm being perfectly honest. A wise amulet. A wise amulet for a wise man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I was trying to think of a Paul Heyman joke there. I was trying to, like, we're gonna fit in just a bunch of wrestling references today, but it's just not happening. And it's funny because I don't watch it. The only thing I watched was this year's WrestleMania. Aside from that, I just see clips on like TikTok, and that's more than enough for me. I can't watch it, like a couple hours of it throughout the week, but clips and stuff here on TikTok and whatnot, or Twitter, X, dumpster fire site, or Reddit or whatever. I can watch that and enjoy the storyline. The Rhea Dom Liv stuff. I know I'm keeping up with that. Can you blame the man? Can you really? All right, we're gonna alterate. Rock shield goes crazy. This is not as amazing. I think it's still probably just blades. Like, blades is good enough. Look, turns out all auras wasn't that great. We were better off just going with the full projectile lightning bolt build. Who'd have thought? No, our inventory's full. Why is it awful? This has bleed and break a leg on it. I love that. You deal 186 more damage to immobilized enemies. I just want to point that out. 186% more damage. We'll come back to that later. Wise amulet. 8% experience gain. Well, that wasn't as wise as I was thinking, to be honest. But maybe streetwise is where the actual XP is at. 8% XP gain? I feel like 10 would be like the cap. I don't know. Like I said before, they're still messing with the numbers, so you have to take everything with a grain of kosher salt. Look at all these items we're getting. And more landslide. Oh, I do owe you all JoJo's build, don't I? Okay. I remember that's on the agenda. I don't know if that'll be a Merris build. Probably. We're so full right now. I don't know if any other character really uses spells in the same way or casts currently. All right, we actually have to get rid of some stuff now. A knife. Damage, attack it, damage and undamaged. Nah, I'm not using that. Heal and level up, I think, is wasted. Adepts, nah, it's trash. That's not terrible. Effects range. That's not very good. That's also not what I want to be doing. Okay. That's enough. It's enough items to drop. I think that should hold us. Maybe not. Who knows? Cooldown reduction. The new items you can get are kind of wacky. Some of them are super strong. Some of them are not. I don't know. It depends. They range from really weird and not very good to obscenely busted and like perfect. So I don't think it's been ironed out completely properly yet, but that's why we test. We'll do damage. We'll do damage this time. Oh, this is actually a good question. Am I supposed to take... Am I supposed to take powers here? I think I'm supposed to take... the blue potion. Cast damage, yeah, that's what I wanted. So I don't know which potions are more likely to do what. I just know that like I didn't want extra area. All right, we'll take urgency. Urgency's fine. All right. We want to get rid of the elite guy because he is actually a threat. He can kill you. All right, Crom, what do you have? Anything? Blades 2, sure. Blade 2 is the best Blade movie. It's not really close. I'll take luck for shits and our giggles. We're mostly out of stuff to take here. Take blades, and I guess I take 35 armor. Like that seems somewhat significant. I think that was better than HP. Probably could have pulled out like an EHP calculator for that one and found out the correct answer, but ain't nobody got time for that. Well, I'll take a cast projectile, which will translate to a power projectile, I mean. Did it actually increase the number of projectiles, though? It looks like it did. Nope. I'm just gonna run away. I'm just gonna run away. Ow, he's close to me. I'm gonna watch out for flamethrower. That's been the bane of my existence. Bosses do a lot of damage still. All right, he's dead. Give me loot. All right, let's dump some more stuff. Dash, recharge, dash, distance. Oh, those boots are kind of crazy. That's trash. This is fine. This is replaceable. Breath of Poison. This has too many stats. Look at this. This has 9 armor, 9 life, 10 master offers, life regen, XP per second, 1 reroll, 1 strike, and a thing. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different affixes on it. That's too much. Too much. We don't want that. We don't want it. I'm going to say lightning strike did the most damage here by a large margin. Yeah, 16.8. Rock Shield, not so much. I'm gonna guess the reason Rock Shield didn't do very much is because enemies never got to Rock Shield. Which is also kind of funny because that means we didn't really need Rock Shield. Quick, pretty good. For 1 point, you get 3k damage. I mean, it's just strong. Yeah, so that means the Scepter did a lot of the heavy lifting there. Unfortunately, it doesn't show its actual stats. I'm just gonna look at the screen here with you guys to see if there's anything crazy. Cast area, cast duration, max master offers is pretty good. 2 alteration dice, pretty good helmet. This has too many stats on it. I don't want to read it. Black Chain Lightning did get a massive buff. Its damage went up by a lot, so this could be good. Not interested. All half moon things are interesting depending on what you're doing with it. Plus it has strike duration. Although half moons should scale with dash duration now, not strike duration, if I'm not mistaken, which would make this not as good. Those gloves are absolutely cracked if they were light, but they're medium. Frost Nova belt. Nope. 24 evasion. Oh, these are gloves. 23.8 attack speed is pretty good. Could be better. Strike slot. That's generally not the strike. That's generally not the extra slot you need. Half Moon Dash boots. Again, too many stats you just don't need. Yeah, it's the running theme here of like, yes, it can generate incredible items, but a lot of what's happening here is I think there needs to be like a minimum threshold. So like this here, I don't think 4 armor or 2 life should be able to be rolled, is what I would say. The rest of them are okay. I mean, 0.26 XP is probably enough. Dash area is actually a powerful stat because it's kind of rare. But 2 life and 4 armor just feels terrible. So yeah, we'll see how this progresses. This is planned to go on for another probably week at least, at bare minimum. So, you know, feedback in the comments, feedback in the Discord. There's this whole thing here from the developer, which we will go over. If you want to check it out yourself, there's a lot to it. It's definitely worth the read. And I appreciate y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, especially if you liked the video. Let me know how I did. I'm trying to be a little more loosey, a little more talkative, less ums, less ahs, more ha-has. You guys know the drill. But again, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Jeff out. Bye.